you, being innovative.
Yeah. See, if you're not prepared, then you gotta at least. If you don't come prepared, then you should at least be willing to make yourself look like a fool.
Plant technologies.
Plant technology.
Yeah. I love it. Hi everyone, my name is Robynne Edgar and I'm a traditional medicine educator. Some might refer to me as an herbalist, and that just means that I make medicine from plants. I am Cree Métis on my father's side and Japanese on my mom's side. And today we are on beautiful Quw'utsun Territory, and we are going to be harvesting some stinging nettle.
Hi everybody. My name is Quw'utsun. I'm 29 years old. I'm from the Quw'utsun and the Camel Nations. I'm stoked to learn about stinging nettles today.
Well, should we get started?
Yeah.
Okay, well, let's go. Follow us into the forest. Before we start to harvest, it's nice to make an offering. And some folks will offer tobacco or even like a strand of their hair or whatever feels right to you. But I happen to have some nettle seeds in my medicine pouch today. So hopefully these will sow and eventually become more stinging nettles next year. So if you want to take some of those, I'll just give a little bit of an offering to this beautiful land and territory that we're on today, and just thank the plants for giving themselves up for us to nourish our bodies today. So you can see here the opposite leaves. So you've got a row of 2 going horizontal, and then 2 vertical, 2 horizontal, 2 vertical. And then the serrated edges is another indicator. And then if you flip it upside down and get really close, you can see there's tiny little hairs on the stalk, the stem, and the back of the leaf, and those are filled with formic acid, and that's what stings you. So that's a really nice close-up look.
Right. Nice.
So there's a false nettle, or some people call it like California hedge nettle, and it's a little fuzzier. And if you pinch the leaves, they're not spiky or anything. They won't sting you, but they're really, really stinky. And they have a little purple flower that comes out. They're a little bit later, but they'll start to grow around now, and they'll grow right beside stinging nettle. And then there's like a dead nettle or purple nettle, and they're quite small. I don't remember what the Latin name is, but it's more of like a spring green, so you'll use it for food. But again, to me, it's not super appealing because it's kind of stinky, but it is very nutritious. Okay. I don't think any of them have anything on stinging nettle.
Right on.
Yeah.
Awesome.
How long have you been harvesting nettle for? Like you said, since you were...
Oh, it's probably one of the first plants that I started to learn about back in 2012. And when I first started, I didn't really know how much to harvest for my family, so I way under harvested. And nettle's one of those things too. It's kind of like spinach. It shrinks up so small, so you'll have a big bag like that, but you'll think, oh, I've taken way too much. But once you get it home and you're blanching it, or even for tea, it'll just shrink up to basically nothing. So I'd probably end up with about maybe 5 or 6 of those bags for the season. Wow. So you want to cut just above one of these nodes. So I don't usually cut more than 3 rows down, so like a really small percentage of the plant, and I leave the rest to keep growing. So I'll cut just above what this is called like a node. I'll cut just above here, and then that is going to just continue to grow throughout the season. And I always make sure that there's no like animals or little insects living on it.
Yeah.
This is also something that really thrives. So a lot of beneficial caterpillars, insects, flies that our ecosystem needs to just really help promote biodiversity really needs this plant to survive. So that's why I'll always take just like a little bit of it. And another thing too is you want to harvest in a really clean environment, because this is a plant that's called a bioaccumulator. And that just means that it absorbs like heavy metals and toxins that are in the soil, and you don't want any of that in your body. So it does its job in the environment, but when you're using it for food or medicine, just make sure the area where you're harvesting is really, really clean. So that's like not an old gas station, not a dog park, maybe not down from like industry or a farm or something like that. Okay, so you got your gloves on. So this size, I would say, is going to be for tea. All of the elders that I work with, and just like any kind of new green vegetable, the older it gets, kind of like the woodier it gets. So if you're using this for a vegetable for food, I would take the smaller ones, and we'll find an example of that later. But for now, we're kind of in an older patch, a little bit more mature. So we're going to use this for tea, and we'll just take like the top two or three rows for now.
Cool.
Okay?
Yeah.
Great. And you've got a bag here. Perfect. Yeah, I've got some snips for you. There you go.
Thank you.
So this one's kind of like curled up. It's got some holes in it. It's been eaten by some insects, maybe like attacked by a couple slugs. So I'm just going to leave that one. You know, there's a lot of other nice ones to choose from here.
Would this be like a smaller one? Or is that still considered tea?
No, I wouldn't want it any bigger than that, but for sure you could harvest that, and we could use that for. We'll make some pesto later with it. Sure. So maybe go ahead and put that one in the glue bag.
Blue bag.
Yeah, and you can even put one this small here, a couple small ones there. Yeah, and that one there. These are fine. That would be great. Here, I'll add a couple to yours. Yeah, some of the nettles too are red. There's not a lot of those here. And I don't exactly know what makes them red, but those are like the real prized ones that the elders like.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think maybe they have like a few more like antioxidants in them, just because it's like flavonoids. I think it's like the chemistry of the plant and maybe the temperatures where it grows.
Totally.
But those are really prized. If you ever see those, they're absolutely fine to harvest as well. Oh, have you?
Yeah, pretty
Ooh.
intense.
Yeah, it is. So what plant would you put on your nettle stings if you got stung?
Probably plantain.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Some folks will use like the juice inside the stem too.
That's what I do. I've always made a pulp, like a little like and then like squeeze it onto whatever.
Amazing.
Yeah.
That's great. Yeah, I mean you can handle these with your bare hands as well, as long as you go like the direction of the little hairs, and that's fine too. But when I'm teaching, I always just recommend wearing gloves just to be safe.
I'm lucky we made it out here.
Yeah, it's gorgeous. But I do give my nettle patches like a rest every 2 or 3 years, and I've noticed a difference. I'll notice that I don't know if it's just because they don't go to seed if you're harvesting them. Some people think that they're spread by seed, and others, there's a theory that they're spread through rhizomes. I don't really know what the answer is. I'm not like a botanist, but I have noticed that when I leave the patch alone for 2 to 3 years, I'll come back and it's like much more, it's really regenerated. Yeah.
Not the littlest, but
I like it.
kind of medium size.
That's so beautiful. That is sun is hitting them right now. It's so pretty. Little bouquet of nettles.
Yeah, I've been kind of getting like half and half.
Yeah, good. We'll fill up our bags for tea and then we'll focus on some small ones. So you don't want to get in here and do some harvesting?
No, one sec. I'll wrap up my legs.
Leg warmer is there. This is a very
is.
traditional way to harvest.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. I'm taking it back.
I'm reclaiming the sword fern. Used for the sword fern.
Honoring my Métis ancestors.
One step.
Yeah, 1 step, 1.5. All right, cut.